Good morning or good afternoon, sharks. Today you're going to be using lines and paper folding techniques to do a sculpture where it's all about you. So it's an all about me sculpture. Now you'll have a worksheet that has different things that could apply to you. And if they do apply to you, then you'll be using that colored strip and that paper folding technique. So I'm going to show you a couple of paper folding techniques. And then today you're going to be planning your sculpture by getting all the paper that you need and practicing a couple of paper folding techniques. And then next week, you're going to be placing your name on the bottom of your base with white crayon so you can see it. And you'll be building all next week. So let's get started on a couple. The first one is called an arch. Now an arch is basically a line that has popped off the paper. If you were to glue paper onto paper, that's just called a collage. We'll be doing those later this year. So in order for it to be a sculpture, it has to pop off the page. And one of the biggest, most important things you can do is give yourself a foot. No, not this type of foot, but this type of foot. Fold it down, boom. Fold it down the other side, boom. And now you've got a way to glue it onto your paper. So there would be an arch, okay? The second type of paper folding is a zigzag. Now a zigzag is started with a foot, but you go backwards or forwards, and then you bring it the opposite direction. So I like to sometimes even sandwich it between my fingers, where I go backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. And I kind of just pinch it with my thumbs. And I want you to see how I'm kind of guiding it backwards and forwards, and pinching. And then I like to pinch the sides really, really good. So they're really, really kind of smooshed. And then when I open it up, there is my zigzag. And I can also leave this as an arch, or I can attach it to other pieces. Or sometimes if I'm lucky, I can even, bring it together like that. So there's technique number 2. Technique number 3 is the spiral. Use your pencils at your table in order to take a plain line, and you're going to wrap the paper around your pencil. You can even use your finger. And I like to hold it there for about 10 seconds, but wait until you get to the very end and make sure that you give yourself a foot. So remember, it needs a way to attach itself to the paper. All right, and then hold it, take it out, and there you have your spiral. And these we'll learn to glue on next week. But the fourth paper folding technique is, we're going to use this one again, it's called the fringe. And what I like to do with the fringe is I like to actually fold these in half long ways. And that takes just a little bit of time, where you kind of fold it like a giant taco. And then this will actually be one really long foot, or you can attach it to other things. But the fringe really is taking scissors and you cut tiny little cuts all the way down it. All the way down. That's called a fringe. So you'll have to look at your worksheet and see what kind of things might apply to you to be able to do a fringe. You're welcome to cut them smaller and make your fringe so that you can add it to another piece of your sculpture, but you would keep going all the way down. The last paper technique is called the tab, and I'm going to use the other half of this. Now the tab, unlike the fringe where you do one little piece over and over and over again, the tab, you separate your cuts. So you don't cut all the way through, you cut about halfway, but you separate them a little bit further, about an inch apart. And you can fold up every other one. So there's 1 and 2, and there's a tab. It almost looks like teeth, okay? So there's a tab. Looking today, what I'd like for you to do is, looking at the worksheet, decide what colors you're going to need to show on your sculpture that it's all about you. Whether it's you have scissors, so you'll be picking out pink strips, or it's that you can ride a bike, that would be blue strips. So you have to read and find that out. Then next week, we'll practice all the paper techniques. Today, you're going to be storing all your pieces in a Ziploc bag, and you're going to write your name in Sharpie at the top. Please don't write your name huge, because I reuse these names, or reuse these bags. If there's already a name on it, cross it out gently. You don't have to scribble it out, because remember, we don't color in Sharpie. Just cross it out with one line and write your name neatly at the bottom. And we'll get back all of our pieces next week so we can go right to building. Have fun planning your sculpture today.